This is a quick overview of a new modulator filter in Cavalry. This filter lets you essentially distort lines against the underlying footage, and it offers quite a lot of flexibility in terms of customization, and it works great with other filters like glow and noise and so on. So let me show you how it works. So I have a simple stock clip which I'm going to use for this demonstration. This filter works best with footage, both stills and video. So once you install it in Cavalry, you'll be able to find it in the filters menu under the name of Modulator. So when I apply it, immediately you get this distorted lines look. And we've got a number of tabs: simple, precise, colors, and noise. So let's focus on them one at a time. So before we dive in, let me explain you what this filter does and how it works. Essentially, I'm generating lines and I'm distorting them against the underlying footage. And I can specify the number of lines we generate, gap between them, and the strength of the distortion. And we've got a bunch of other controllers which help us create unique looks. You can do all of this in native version of Cavalry using the distortion filter and duplicator and shape layers and so on. But this filter contains everything in one, essentially, module in one layer. So let's see how it works. In the simple tab, we've got just the basic controllers, just the basic look that you can see on the screen. We can increase number of lines, change the lines thickness so we can make this really a stripy look, and change the gap size. So this is pretty self-explanatory. You can create really interesting looks with just these three controllers. So let me change the line gap to maybe 20 on the gap. And next we've got displacement. Essentially, it allows us to displace these lines using underlying image based on the amount of pixels, -100 to 100 on the positive side. So you can easily create different looks based on this displacement alone. Next, we can rotate these lines, and as you can see, everything maps according to the underlying footage. We can offset these lines if you want to have like a traveling effect of sorts. Let me zero out the rotation and the offset. And finally, we can control the overall position of this displacement. If you want to, for example, move this footage to the side without wanting to move the underlying layer. So this is like an extra quality of life feature of sorts. And finally, we've got channel mode. We can sample different channels to create slightly different effects. But in most cases, RGB is perfectly fine. So as you can see, with the simple controllers, this filter does actually quite a lot, and it's pretty responsive as well. I'm going to skip the precise mode for just a second, so let's go to the colors tab. We've got a simple color control, so we can change the color of the lines and the background color as well, because this filter generates essentially solid background. If you want to have transparent background, what you can do is enable the transparency mode using the stencil option. When you turn this on, initially you've got a stencil, which means that these lines are cutting through our layer. So if I add another background shape and change its color to something like a deep blue, put it below everything, you can see that we can see the background below our image. So essentially, these lines, the distorted lines, act as a mask or matte of sorts. So I'm going to zero this out, go back to Modulator, go back to colors. We can invert it. So essentially we making an inverted selection of it. And then we can show only the lines. So I can change color of these lines and I can have an independent color on the background. For example, I could have a gradient shader and just generate these lines. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of controllers, including the option to have transparency and the control for the color of individual lines. So I'm going to turn off the stencil for now, delete all the layers I don't need, go back to my modulator, and we've got different color modes. We got simple and precise. Precise color mode allow us to essentially map highlights, midtones, and shadows to different colors. So let's say I will map my highlights to yellow, shadows to this darker blue, and mids to red. So essentially I'm using the underlying image tones, the highlights, the dark shadow areas, and then midtones to map different colors on top. And if we go back to simple control mode, we can pick different channel to sample. So as you can see, the colors are shifting, but RGB will do just fine in this case. So next, let's have a look at the precise mode. Precise mode has quite a lot of controllers. So when you enable it, this precise mode will override all of these controllers, all the line count, gaps, and so on. So essentially, we can specify different line properties per each pass for the highlights, midtones, and shadows. So to make this a little bit less confusing, I'm going back to the colors tab and turn them into a simple color. So we're looking at only one color at a time. So we got highlight, midtones, and shadow pass. I'm going to turn off midtones and shadows for now. And we got the same controllers. You got line count, width, and a gap. So I can increase the line count and maybe bump up the gap a little bit to only map this line style to my highlight. We can increase the displacement if we want to, rotate it, and then offset it as well to create like an animation within this pass itself. Then let's enable midtones and let's make them quite thick, let's say 8. Increase the gap a little bit and increase the count. And again, we can control displacement for every single pass. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of controls within these two passes. Finally, let's turn on the shadow, and I'm going to turn off the midtones because it's getting too busy. I'm going to increase this line to about 20 pixels, change the gap to maybe 5 to bring it together, and just increase the line count. And as you can see, we've got totally different look within the same filter. So let's enable all of these controls on for now, and I'm going to change the shadow pass to about maybe 15 because it's really thick, increase the gap to 10, and I'm going to rotate it to 90 degrees. So we've got really thin stripes for the highlights, verticals have those thicker ones, and the dark areas have essentially a 90-degree rotation applied to it. And furthermore, we can control distortion if we want to. So we've got a few more controllers here that allow us to further customize this. So we've got smooth blend option to essentially try and blend the transition between two passes. So if I turn the smooth blend off, we got much sharper transition between each of these areas. Essentially, you got straight lines for highlights. We've got shadows in here, and the horizontal lines, and midtones on the face. But if I bring this on, you can play how quickly these colors transition between each other, essentially these passes. So it's like increasing and decreasing the contrast of the underlying image. So let's leave it at 0.5 for now. And finally, let's look at the shadow ceiling and highlight floor. This again allows us to control the contrast on the essentially the gamma, the brightness of the highlights and the shadows as well. So you can further customize how this filter behaves based on the underlying image. Essentially, like we adding contrast to this image, but within this filter alone. Then go back to colors, switch it to precise, and we've got a little bit of white, a little bit of mixing going on. We don't have a white color here, and the reason for this color mixing is the smooth blend option, because we are essentially mixing multiple colors and this results in this white color. So if you don't want that, turn off the smooth blend. And again, we can see how we can push the colors around just with these two sliders. And finally, we've got Noise tab. Noise tab allows us to add noise to these lines to further distort them. For example, when I scroll through my footage, we can see that there's not much animation happening in the background, and we can change this with this Noise tab. If I increase the displacement a little bit, we can see the footage changes. When I press play, we've got noise traveling through the entire scene. And you can increase and change the noise scale to make it really glitchy, or scale it up to create different look. The idea behind this is to simulate old CRT TVs and so on, and you can make it really subtle, like 1 to be really small displacement. Let me make it about 5, and when I press play, you can see this is pretty glitchy. We can take this down to maybe 0.1 to slow this noise down a little bit. So as you can see, each of these lines gets a little bit of distortion. Now, what if you want only to add noise to the highlights but leave everything else as it is? And that's possible as well. We've got this noise control section here, which we can change it to precise mode. By default, everything is turned off. So when I press play, we don't have noise happening on the highlight lines, the yellow ones. So let's turn this on, increase the displacement, and as you can see, only the yellow lines, which are the highlights, are being displaced. Let me maybe increase the scale of this noise a little bit, press play, and we've got extra detail added to this whole image. We can turn down the speed of this so it just moves a little bit. Maybe increase this on the Y. So we've got those wiggly lines. And you can create a lot of different looks just with the noise controls alone. I'm going to turn this off. Press play. We don't have any noise, but let's say I want to add noise to the dark areas, the blue ones. So we can turn on the shadow noise, increase it a bit, press play, and we've got this really glitchy look only in the shadow pass. Let's maybe scale this down, the speed, and we've got extra like movement along our blue color. So let me turn this off and turn off the midtone pass and the shadow pass. And we've got this outline going on, and we can further customize how it looks. And I can increase the contrast where the highlight reaches. So you got this simple animation, and let's add another filter to it. For example, glow looks really good, which is here. And initially it creates this washed out look. But if you turn down the source gamma, then you got more saturated colors, and we can easily limit the spread of the glow and maybe bump up the intensity. And you've got this really glitchy, glowing look of sorts. Maybe 3 is too much. Let's go halfway to perfect. So this filter will work with other filters. For example, I can add dithering to it. And actually, let's swap Glow and Dithering. And now we've got this glitchy, like old, low resolution TV look in no time. And here you can see a quick comparison of what you can get from this filter just with the same footage and with different settings and different colors applied to it. So hopefully you will find this filter useful and you'll be able to create some really intricate, glitchy looking animations in no time. Thanks for watching.